pretty intense team fights. Because right now, when you're looking from each of the different teams, you're going to see University of Manitoba have some hard engage with the Scion and Jarvan again. And then you're going to see the poking comes out from the Ezreal. So Ezreal's going to hang out on the outskirts of the fights, kind of in a similar play style to Corki and Caitlyn like to play. Where Corki doesn't want to be in the middle of it. He's trying to just shoot from the outside. Once he gets his Infinity Edge, once he gets a couple of these crit items, and is able to do a lot of damage, then he'll try and probably get closer and see if he can snipe some people off. But for the most part, you're going to see a fairly defined fight. So in an undefined fight, I think you're going to see the University of Manitoba, where you don't have the front line with a maybe support of Braum here versus their front line of Warwick Cho'Gath in front. Like, if you get this kind of chaotic fight, you're going to end up with the Ezreal is able to position very well compared to Caitlyn. You're going to end up with the Victor, who can kind of run all over. He's probably the most immobile, so I think you want to see whether or not they're able to blow him up to who's going to win the team fights in the end.
Yeah, excellent. All right, so while we're waiting for this line of scrimmage, no invades happening, we'll reintroduce the teams for everyone just coming in. Over on the blue side, we have Kansas State University. Wolf playing the top lane. Javorius is in the jungle. Mid lane played by Algu. AD carry is Dem Boys, and Chilling at support.
All right, and then for the University of Manitoba, we have Rodov in the top lane, Soul in the jungle, Kept playing the mid lane, Hartwig on AD carry, and KBS playing support.
Yep, so both teams here. Again, if you're just tuning in, it is a 1-0 lead currently for University of Manitoba as they took the win over on the blue side in the first game in this best-of-5 matchup. I keep bringing up this story because I really, really like it. Again, there was a lot of talk that University of Manitoba is the worst undefeated team in the country, and right now, and a lot of people saying Kansas State might be able to take and win this game. So this is a game that might mean a lot to them and might mean a lot to prove to the country, to North America, that they belong where they are. They belong with this undefeated record, and they're continuing to be strong so far in this series.
Yeah, we want to see them try and climb up the entire ladder here as they, climb these playoffs. This is the northern playoffs. There's a number of different sections. They all come together at the end.
We're already
California.
seeing Soul coming over toward gang towards the top lane, and Wolf is trying to just walk away, currently trying to hold onto the flash, and he's actually going to be able to get out without having to use it, but pressure being applied early towards this top lane of Kansas State.
Yeah, you'd like to see that early pressure, let him know that Cho'Gath is not a safe pick. That Scion is still the preferred champion to play there.
Yeah, exactly. Like you saw in that last game, Rodov played that Scion matchup very, very well, despite giving up a kill at some point in a moment where he got outplayed. But this champion in Scion is super strong, and putting a lot of priority it is University of Manitoba to make sure that Rodov gets on a champion that, even though it's still a tank, a bruiser, or whatever, not like a Camille type carry, but still can carry from the position he's in as he keeps going, because Rodov's proven he's super good on the champion.
And so just looking at the bot lane matchup as well here, it's going to be favored for the Caitlyn Morgana. They have, except for the all-in potential of a Braum getting stuns off onto one of them with the jungler's help, it's pretty much a farming lane. Ezreal's going to try and poke him out, but there's not a whole lot that he's going to be able to do with regards to that lane.
Exactly, we're seeing Soul now coming over towards the bottom lane, but he's going to see a ward there, and it's not going to be able to engage, so he's going to clear the ward. He'll get that. Corki's going to ward over to the river in the middle as well, so no action quite yet, but we're also seeing Trevorius kind of hanging out near the top side. Yeah,
we were actually able to spot the invade here of Trevorius, so I'm not sure if he's been able to get out of this one so nice.
Exactly. Rodov is now putting on a ton of damage to Trevorius and forcing him to back out. So good job by Rodov helping out his jungler, not letting Trevorius do what Warwick does really, really well in that counter jungling. So good job by Rodov and good use of vision by the team overall to make sure they know what's up.
You'll see Algu's doing a similar thing here with the Jarvan and the Soul. He's just trying to prevent him from stealing the little raptor camps. Just trading farm and kind of farming up here. We've got almost no lead. It's very even right now. We've got a slight CS lead to the Victor, but a lot of that's based on the position of the wave in the mid lane.
So yeah, exactly. A slight CS lead, but that's just probably going to be evened up pretty quick here. Corky's actually got in a good place to potentially gank kept, so he's got to be careful. But he does set up a bunch of awards over in that riverside and is hanging out closer to that riverside. So if he does see Warwick kind of walking up from there, he's going to be able to back away. Again, Warwick not a super great ganker pre-6 anyway. That hasn't changed since the rework. But if you don't see him coming, it could be rough.
Yeah, if he can get close enough to you with his sphere, that can be a really strong CC technique, but it's not the easiest thing to pull off. It's not an instant engage like Jarvan has. We're seeing that Ezreal here says he's down a couple CS, but most of that is just based off the push of the wave. So you're gonna watch and see a full all-in here almost.
Tons of damage going on to Heartwing. That first blood is gonna come over to Demboys on that one. Stepping out of the pocket a little bit too much is Heartwig, and that trap, the net, the Q, everything from Caitlyn just did way too much damage, way more than Heartwig was expecting.
Yeah, you can see the kind of the misplay there where Heartwig steps on the trap after avoiding it for most of the fight, so just giving him the extra range and the damage necessary to get the first blood there. So Caitlyn's first blood, she's going to back and grab that BF sword, try and have some lane pressure. And with Ezreal, you're just looking at the tier of the goddess, and you're looking to scale. I mean, you're not going to hit your power spike here for a little while. Even with Klepto, you're going to be still certainly down a little bit after that first blood goes over.
So we now are seeing the first blood and the advantage this time going over to Kansas State University, whereas U of M was able to pick up that first blood in the first game. So again, you're pretty confident about what happened after the first game, but there you give up first blood against probably the biggest carry over on the Kansas State side. So if you're University of Manitoba, what are you thinking now? Like, what are you trying to do to make sure you keep focused and make sure that them boys doesn't snowball from here?
Well, you're just trying to continue to farm with regards to the Ezreal. Looks like Jarvan might go for an invade. That's kind of risky based on the positioning of the wave and the lane. But you're just looking to farm it with Heartwig here. You're really looking to get Ezreal to a point where he can start doing damage. You're looking at the mana mune power spike. You're looking at once he's actually finished either his Trinity Force.
Bit of a fight happening over here. Sorry to cut you off. In the jungle here, Travorius is going to be taken down by Kept as they were not letting him have his own jungle. So never mind about Warwick counter jungling. Kept comes in and helps Soul out, and they're able to take out that kill.
Yeah, and so that's actually, so I was talking about the lane positioning. So the bot lane wasn't in the position to roam, but the Victor mid lane had gotten the wave into a good position, and so he was able to support the Jarvan invade, and so that's where that bottom side jungle, it's a combination of the power of your mid laner and your bot lane that's able to do those things.
We're still killing once again, using that Q for nothing, and then taking a little bit of damage for it. So keep an eye again on that matchup, as we saw that being a gigantic thing that University of Manitoba took advantage of. Meanwhile, we're seeing Rodov ult over into the top lane as they're trying to chase down some targets here, but actually some more damage is being put onto KBS over in the bottom lane as they do land that one binding and able to slow one down. Again, a fight happening also towards the top side of this river here, so fighting happening everywhere, but no harm, no foul for either team, really.
I think the one that's, like, yeah, it was good. I think they got the flash. Yeah, they've got the flash of the Cho'Gath. You had to get over that top wall.
Ooh.
I think you got to watch over the bot lane.
Yeah, there's that Q landing that time onto Heartwig, but KBS is going to be able to mitigate some of that damage as he jumps over. Heartwig taking more and more from Dem Boys. He's going to hit by another Q. He tries to jump out of the way, but he's going to go down real low. He's just going to have to back off now, and Dem Boys is looking to prove that he earned his rank in this game, and he's playing really strong right now.
So here you're seeing kind of one of the problems with the Ezreal. Just laning phase, where he doesn't, unless you're almost godlike with the poke that you land from your Q, once you get behind, you kind of end up in a position where you're in a really, really strongly losing lane, and it's really hard to deal with.
Yeah, the BF sword versus Sheen is not a super great, versus Tyr is not a super great position for Ezreal to try to do any trading with, and yeah, Dem Boys is proving that he's really good right now in this matchup.
Yeah, so again, this is kind of expected. I'm not saying it's bad for U of M or that great for Kansas, but I'm just saying that this is the laning matchup of Caitlyn versus Ezreal. And even with Braum is going to give you that all-in potential, but Ezreal doesn't really want to do an all-in before he finishes his items, unless you can do it really early and where he's got his strength. So you're just looking at the trading patterns here of Rodov in the top lane.
Yeah, Rodolph doing a ton of damage onto Wolf. Wolf trying to just get in there and get some CS. Does actually have a slight lead in that department right now anyway, but Rodolph doing a good job trading. Does have already that Negatron cloak, so Wolf is not going to do as much damage to him as you'd like.
And you can actually even look and see from last game that Rodolph was down CS at the 10-minute mark. And so despite constantly pushing into Scion, it does mean he misses some of the waves just based on, you know, mass hitting all of these people and not necessarily killing all of them. So he's getting the shove in every single time, but he's taking some minion losses as a result of it.
Yep, so he's going to back off after pushing off that last wave. We're going to come back with a little more items to try to continue to be stronger throughout that matchup. Them boys, meanwhile, is pushing up way too far. KBS is going to use that ultimate. They are going to get the first turret for that, though. The ultimate's going to come out of chilling as they're going to try to get a kill here. KBS is going down real low. Rodolph now, though, is coming in from the other side, trying to help out the rest of the team. Harvey's going to pick up the kill. Them boys going to trade that one there as he gets out KBS. Soul's going to be able to pick up one here now. Rodolph's going to pick up one on the other side and ends up being a 3-for-1 in favor of University of Manitoba as, well, like I said, Dem boys kind of pushed a little too hard for that turret.
Yeah, see, with that one, I was about to say that you see Morgana throwing out her binding there and missing, and just you lost such a important skill shot for your team fight, followed directly by a team fight.
And we don't mean to be directly trash talking Chilling, but if you watch the stream later, or you have a coach, watch this VOD and be like, this is what you're doing wrong. We're seeing it, and it's being punished over and over and over and over and over again. So, as much as, of course, I want to see Manitoba win this game, we're allowed to be biased on the stream. This is the University of Manitoba stream. Chilling for the future, man. Save that cue.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I know they were trying to really force to get that tower and do that sort of thing, but I mean, it's just almost at this point unacceptable. The number of times it has been used, missed, and the entire team fight has been turned around. Like, you see the 3-man gank here.
Yeah, Trevor is trying to make something happen over the top lane. That Q is going to be missed again by Chilling, so Rodolph's just going to be perfectly fine and safe. And yeah, everyone else from the University of Manitoba is actually now coming over to that top side. Meanwhile, Kept is pushing in the lane towards the middle, and Algu's going to take a ton of damage from that little bit of a trade. Kept actually quietly having a 20 CS lead over the Corki round currently, so he's doing perfectly fine for himself, also with that kill from earlier.
You can see the Victor's really getting the wave pressure. He's going to get another full wave collapsing into turret here, so he's just going to keep going up with that. And that's not a typical trading pattern. Corki shouldn't lose the matchup by 30 CS at 12 minutes. That's just Kept playing his champion slightly better than the other mid laner is. So Corki, he will get stronger once he finishes his Trinity Force and is able to start getting his Infinity Edge and his crit damage in there and clearing the waves with his rockets and the boss bombs. But yeah, just being down 30 CS at 12 minutes is kind of concerning for the Kansas State University here.
Yeah. But here comes Trevorius coming in towards his mid lane. Flash is going to come out, and he's going to be perfectly safe. And the counter gank is coming in for Soul now as the ultimate's going to come down from Kept as they're trying to do it. Soul's going to jump down as well with his ultimate, so Soul's going to be able to pick up that kill. And he's going to try to get away from Algo here, but he's really low. Oh, the Flash is able to dodge that rocket. It might be enough. Oh, he's got just enough shields to be perfectly fine, so Algo is stuck in a really difficult spot. Rodolph here is now trying to get in the gauge. He's going to flash him to do it. He's going to knock him up now. He's set up for Kept to take this kill, or maybe Rodolph will. It will be Rodolph's, so he's got that happening. Meanwhile, there's action going on over the top side. Chilling is going to have to use that stopwatch to stay alive, but it's not going to be enough. Heartwig times the ultimate to take him down. Dem Boys is going to pick up on the kill for KBS, so that's going to be even over towards the top lane, but again, more action going in favor of University of Manitoba overall.
Yeah, you're able to see a trade of supports in the top lane as Chilling and Dem Boys goes aggressive after the kind of fiasco that happened in the mid lane with Corki using literally everything to try and finish that kill up on Soul.
But Soul perfectly calculated the amount of HP he had and knew he was going to be perfectly fine in that fight. I like to believe that was calculated. So great job by University of Manitoba now. They have 1,000 gold lead. It was looking a little bit sketchy maybe early on, but they were able to take a bot lane tower and a huge advantage. And again, they have tempo now going forward.
One of the things that's important to talk about there. Oh, we got.
Sorry, 1 second here. We have Rodolph caught in a little bit of a place, but he's just going to be able to back off perfectly fine. No real hard CC from either of those two, unless Trevorius had ultimate, so he's able to just walk away.
Yeah, one of the interesting things with that fight, when you talk about the Braum trading with the Morgana, that shouldn't necessarily happen at this point, because Morgana was just being overly aggressive and ended up getting really chunked when she was trying to attack Hartwig.
I'm so sorry, Chilling. I swear this is not a stream to just bash on you. We're both. The thing is, me and Sido here, we're both support mains, so we just like really passionate about support. We know how important you are, so we're yeah, that's all.
Yeah, well, I guess that's part of it. I guess part of the thing is, like with Caitlyn with the VF sword, it was the Sheen at the time. The VF to the Sheen was the difference there. She's right to try and engage a fight there. Caitlyn should have the advantage, but Hartwig was able to just land everything he needed to with his skill shots and Qs, and just you see that consistent Q damage. Like that's the kind of Ezreal we're talking about. Like when you get into, he's got his Muramana started up here, he's got his Sheen going, like he's ready to start doing some damage.
Exactly. Hartwig here over on the Ezreal, really strong champion at 2 items. Like it starts to turn once Dem Boys kind of gets that 3rd item, but you're at the point where Dem Boys was stronger earlier, and we saw that. We saw that very early in the game. But you're at the point where Hartwig's going to be a little bit stronger for a while here. So Kansas State really wants to try to make this game go longer. It is only a 1,000 gold lead for University of Manitoba, so it's not insurmountable by them at this point. So if they can stall this game out, they still have a solid chance.
I'm trying to see where that kind of equalizing is coming, because it is a 7-3 kill lead. And the CS is very even across all of it. We see
here we go. We're seeing a big engage happening, and Soul has pulled out his ultimate, and everyone else is now coming in to join this fight. Dem Boy is going to pick up the first kill of this team fight going on. Rodov is trying to find a target over into the end. Actually, they're going to have to try to get away and get out. Hartwig is taking a lot of damage. Trevorius is going down real low, but Wolf is going to pick up that kill onto Soul. Rodov will go down next. The Caitlyn ultimate is going to come out. Rodov is actually going to be able to tank that. He might be able to get a kill. No, the binding's able to stop them there, so he's not going to get a kill after death. So that's going to be a 3-1 advantage this time going for Kansas State.
Yeah, you kind of look at the overextension there where they didn't have the full team able to get there, and you were just diving behind a turret, so you didn't have a good retreat place. That's U of M kind of going a little bit too aggressive for the amount of lead that they had. Hartwig does have his power spike right now, but trying to dive the 2nd tier turret when you haven't finished the first is a little bit over aggressive,
especially without Kept right now, who is like stretching a pretty solid lead right now over in against the enemy mid laner and doing a good job in this game. But it's a lot of your damage right now. Ezreal kind of being single target damage, where that Kept would be the person who would be wanting to do a lot of that AoE and get rid of a lot of the other members and keep people off Hartwig, so Hartwig can carry team fights. But they're now setting up vision over towards the dragon. It is an Infernal Drake, so that one's an exciting one.
Just want to point out, Chilling sniped that Scuttlecraft. Nice bind.
Give some credit to Chili. Chili also hit a nice binding earlier to make sure Rodov after death didn't kill anybody. So we try to give compliments back to Chilling to make sure we weren't just bashing Chilling's entire stream.
But yeah, this Infernal Drake is going to be highly contested. It looks like the pressure from the side lanes, there's nothing substantial from either direction in the top lane, so they can probably just... Oh, Hartwig's going to change that up by reducing the waves. So that's actually going to end up pushing into the blue tower. So that's a really smart thing that the shot caller decided to call there. With Hartwig taking that, he's going to put pressure on the top lane, and someone's going to have to respond to, or they end up just losing a lot of gold somewhere on the map. So they're able to put pressure on the Infernal Drake by just using Hartwig's ultimate in that manner. It'll be up.
Oh, here comes Trevorius. He's ultimating in, trying to jump in there. It's suppressing Soul currently, but he's going to get melted real fast. Hartwig's going to pick up that first kill in there as well. The entire re-engage is happening now. A double kill is going to come over for Kept as Soul jumped onto another target. Wolf is going to go down really, really low. Here comes Rodov now in from the side. He's going to jump in, make sure Kept's going to pick up one more kill. Flash is going to come in, so there's going to be a double kill now going over Kept. That's 4 members down for Kansas State University, and now University of Manitoba can get whatever they want.
I just wanted to point out there, Soul did a really great thing with his flash as Jarvan. He didn't have the distance to hit Caitlyn, so he was able to flash during his knock-up portion and knock Caitlyn up. That's something you see high solo queue, that sort of thing do, but it really looks good when you're able to do it in conjunction with the team as they get the Infernal Drake there.
And believe it or not, that is actually the first tower University of Manitoba has taken now. But they're going to continue pressing. They're going to take a second tower here over in the bot. They also got that Infernal Drake to go along with the Cloud Drake they had earlier, which, if people don't know, I haven't read the patch notes, Cloud Drake now actually gives you in-combat movement speed as well. So that's actually a pretty significant buff for them as they have that. So they're going to take that and take this lead, and we're looking at potentially them going for the Rift Herald as Kansas State. Meh.
We'll see. There's 30 seconds here. Brom's hanging out. They might be able to.
Yeah, no, they're
like
just backing off now. Okay, yeah. So a bit of an awkward call. I think with 30 seconds, you're not likely to take it, and you're most likely to just give up pressure everywhere else by trying to take it there. So they do back off, which I think is the correct call, as we go into the 20-minute mark in this game.
Yeah, so now we're going to look to... I don't think you have the Baron taking power with this team in regards to Kept and KBS and Hartwig here. Like, the damage dealers you have, although they are spiking, you see the Trinity Force and the Manamune there for Ezreal. So he's hitting his strong power spike for the next probably 5 minutes. He's going to have the damage lead against Caitlyn in team fights. So you're probably looking to push in Siege, just try and take these towers and chip them out as fast as you can as the U of M.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, the Kansas State wants to try to sell out this game, so University of Manitoba is trying to press. Excuse me, is trying to press into this game now to make sure that they can't do that. We see Ezreal pushing up towards the top lane. That is Hartwig trying to get that tier 1 top lane turret, while the rest of the team is kind of focusing on pushing everything else. We're seeing Algo and Rodov fighting over here a little bit. Trevoris going to come in. He's going to use his ultimate to try to get some damage onto Rodov. Trevoris is continuing this game, just trying to go harder, but Rodov is just going to use his ultimate and make sure he can get away. Meanwhile, Hartwig and KBS are working on this top tower, and Wolf is not able to push them away on their own. Incoming is now Kept, though, so while Wolf is taken down here and being CC'd hard here by KBS, he's going to be able to pick up that kill as Kept came out and help out, and they're going to also take that tower and are looking for more.
And again, I'm not trying, to be mean or anything. That was just a completely confusing play. Why you would try and engage on the Rodov, who has, again, your Abyssal Mask. He's got 2 components. He's got his Uranduin's Omen. He's got his Ninja Tabby. Like, he's a pretty much full tank at this point, and you're using such an important ultimate. And he also has like a get out of jail free card with his unstoppable. Like, it's a very confusing call because you gave up mid lane pressure for Kept, who by the way is up 3,000 gold on the Corki right now, so his power over Corki is ginormous. And then you basically sacrifice your top laner, giving him the Dyer's treatment, being like, yeah, you're probably gonna die, but we're gonna try and get something back. This is a questionable call.
Yeah, and speaking of slightly questionable things, Kept right now, Trinity Force looking to build a Zeal item right now. Hasn't built any other further damage yet either. So not 100% sure what the logic is behind that. So Kept really is far behind on damage compared to the enemy mid laner. And while your 80 carries are roughly even, again, this is a point at the point of time where Hartwig is just at a really strong point. It does slowly turn around towards them boys if they can stall it out, but you have lots of members stronger over on University of Manitoba. Is just at this current moment is just the point I want to make.
Yeah, as soon as you have the Ezreal starting to build into the Blade of the Rune King, while the Caitlyn is trying to get her second Zeal item, that's kind of the point where it starts rotating back towards, like, the Ezreal having damage.
Ton of damage going on to them boys here, and Hartwig, like I said, just really strong right now and making it happen. Meanwhile, Kept is trying to make a 1v2 happen over here with his ultimate, but he's gonna have to be forced to flash out. He does draw out the Ignite. Trevoris gonna come in here to secure that Kept is taken down, so the shutdown is gonna come out, but the rest of University of Manitoba is looking at the real objective, that is a tier 2 bot lane turret, and they're going to use that to take down Hartwig, or sorry, rather Hartwig is going to get a kill over there, and they're going to push and take this turret now eventually. So the rest of Kansas State is now coming in here to slowly respond to this, but University of Manitoba is just going to back up and enjoy what they got out of that.
Yeah, you see the pick coming through there in the jungle. Dem Boys was correctly kind of very wary, but the Ezreal was able to get onto him.
The trap trying to be set over there in the bush, using that Morgana Q to try to make something happen. The shutdown is going to come out. Algo is going to be able to pick up a kill. Demboy is going to pick up another one. This was not a great place for the University of Manitoba to hide, it appears, as Rodov is now looking to be the next target. A double kill is going to come out to Algu. So never mind, maybe Static Shiv and Trinity Force is all the damage he needed as he picks up a double kill there.
Yeah, so you look at that one where you're actually getting, as I said earlier, the Trevorius, his Warwick ultimate, landed on the Ezreal. When that happens, that's the team fight you're going to win. Because you've taken away their massive damage. Although the Kep was still there, he wasn't had much mana, so that was kind of an issue.
Yeah. Like I said, I was expecting them to walk away in that situation, and instead they tried to set a trap over in the jungle, chilling using the Q binding to make sure that they didn't just face check a bush he was positive they were in. And now Baron is going over to the Kansas State side, so we've seen great shot calling by University of Manitoba through most of this series. That was not a good one.
Yeah, you look at that one in kind of a risk versus reward scenario. It's like you already just traded the pair of people. You got the bot lane turret. Now's the time to back out, start setting up vision around Baron, trying to get Baron control there. Unfortunately, they thought they could maybe get another pick, and that came back to hurt them. Just against this team comp with a Morgana binding, a Warwick ultimate, you don't necessarily want to fight in the jungle with your AD carry at the front.
Yeah.
I realize that a Soul and Rodov in the jungle.
Argue most of the time you don't want your AD carry in the front.
There are some frontline Caitlyn compositions that I will disagree with, but for the most part, that's correct.
Exactly. But that is still another dragon going over towards University of Manitoba. Double Inferno is nothing to laugh at, so they're going to actually have tons of damage. That might be enough. I don't have the math in front of me to figure out if that's enough to equal out the Heartwig versus Demboy's Caitlyn versus Ezreal matchup in terms of how much damage they do, theoretical damage they can do, but it certainly helps.
Yeah, any damage you can get certainly helps Ezreal, especially in a late game like this, but those Infernal Drake stacking like that, he's still going to take, I don't know, 15 to 20 odd shots into the Cho'Gath at this point in the game, because Cho'Gath's finished his righteous glory, thank you by the way, to the chat, helping out with that item early, as well as the Gargoyle Stone Plate. So those, and then the Tabbies, of course. So you're looking at a fairly tanky member. He's not going to go down very quickly to either of them. The Bork is finished on Ezreal, but I wouldn't consider it a strong item right now.
Yeah.
You're going to look and see the team fight advantage might start going over to Caitlyn now that she's finished off the 3 item with the Rapid Fire Cannon, the Shiv, and the Infinity Edge.
So this is actually an extremely interesting point of the game. Again, we're looking at late game scaling versus a team that was looking to have this huge mid power spike, and they've had it. They've used as much as they can, but made a mistake as they're looking to pour onto this tower. The Kansas State University team just using the siege, using the Baron buff. No one's dying, but Rodolph looking to make an engage happen now as he jumps in. Trevorius is going to jump in as well and get taken out by Kep. SKQ Wolf is trying to make something happen as well. Demboy's going to pick up one of those kills, but a double kill is now going to go over towards Kep as they're continuing to press more. That's actually going to be a triple kill now, and he's popping off again. This 6-1 and 6 Kep. This is his first death so far this series that happened earlier, but he's so strong right now. 3 item power spike on that champion is huge.
You're seeing that giant 3k gold lead in the mid really translate into a team fight win there. So yeah, although your Caitlyn might be slightly stronger than your Ezreal, you have the 3,000 gold lead on Victor, who's a lot stronger than your Corki.
Exactly, and has mana this time.
Yeah.
Which is very relevant. Meanwhile, Soul is split pushing and just taking out this bottom Nexus turret. Probably going to be able to do it. No, Algo's going to be able to respond and take him out. So just a lot of damage, which is still something you'll take. No neutral objectives are up on the map currently, so University of Manitoba are just looking to push in waves and make sure they have priority for when they want to start sieging or make an engage happen.
Yeah, so the next important objective is that triple Infernal Drake for the University of Manitoba, or a first Infernal Drake to try and catch that one up for Kansas State, Kansas State University. So that's going to be a highly contested objective coming up here. But also that bot lane tower is the inhibitor tower there, and the inhibitor itself are probably the most important inhibitor in the game in regards to the amount of pressure it puts on your team when Baron spawns. And so Algo's ability to keep that turret up really helps. And if they can maintain that turret and maintain that inhibitor, they're going to be in a much stronger position. If University of Manitoba rotates here with enough and is able to take that tower, you're going to see them again, have a really strong kind of control of the map. So you're looking to see University of Manitoba rotate to the bot side, try and get that tower down. That's going to be their objective. Meanwhile, Kansas will either try and protect that, or looks like they might try and trade somewhere else on it. Which
Exactly. The vision put out by University of Manitoba on the bottom side to make sure they can just kind of push this free. They see them taking that mid-tier turret, but I think they're going to take this opportunity to trade that for that bot tier tower that you were just talking about. So probably not a super worth trade for Kansas State, as the shot calling coming through for University of Manitoba. Soul looking to jump in over onto Algo, but he's a little shy, a little short, but that still means they're going to be able to take down the inhibitor. And so good job by University of Manitoba recognizing the situation here, but here comes Trevorius trying to make an engage now happen on the other side. He's not going to be able to find a target as he's slowed down, and University of Manitoba backing off unscathed.
And this is where you see University of Manitoba shot calling really come to the forefront here. They pulled the University of Kansas all over the map, got an inhibitor turret. Rodov was able to almost take down the outer top lane turret. It's really, like, you see these things happening and you're like, this would be the thing to do. And then Manitoba does it. It's that consistency in their shot calling that has really given them advantages across this year, as we've been watching them play some of the maybe lesser ranked teams, if you want to call them that, as, you know, they haven't played the first or second place team. I guess that's them. So, well, but I mean, you see their ability to shot call in their macro game. There was the one mistake in the jungle which really kind of set them back, but you see them get back to the winning moves, the moves that will give you the most advantage. You see here 45 seconds on the Dragon, a minute on. They have wards all the way through the bot side of the jungle. They're looking to control that area of the map and probably either trade the third Infernal Drake for the Baron, and by that I mean give up the Infernal Drake to take the Baron, or they're going to take the Infernal Drake and then take the Baron.
Yeah, and again, those Infernal Drakes basically would be enough. But never mind, I'm going to cut off my own point because a fight is breaking loose here. Trevorius comes in towards the backline. He's trying to make it an engage happen and trying to take down someone over there. But KBS is actually going to be taken down by Wolf. Demboy's going to pick up a kill here as well. So that's so far 2 kills advantage for Kansas State. So it's a great engage put together by Trevorius and the rest of the Kansas State team, as Rodolph now is taking a bunch of damage from this Caitlyn that is being controlled by Demboys. And yeah, they're going to take that Infernal Drake and start to even up the damage they can do.
So in that one, you see Trevorius was able to get his ultimate off onto Cap. So again, that one ultimate is the thing that can really change the team fights back and forth for the Kansas State University. If he could keep landing those sorts of ultimates and continue to get those sorts of engages, Kansas is going to have a really good time in these team fights. It's just...
At no point was Kansas State truly completely out of this game, as much as we've been talking about the great shot calling and the great teamwork happening by University of Manitoba. But they got a composition that can hold out, and they're really at that breaking point where if they can get another team fight like that, they can start winning this game. So we're going to have to see if the shot calling and the teamwork from University of Manitoba is going to pull through and make sure that doesn't happen.
The next pivot point here you're going to see is going to be the Baron. So you're going to have the University of Manitoba probably shoving and trying to control these waves, get control around the Baron kit, and force Kansas State University to respond to the bottom wave with the supers shoving in. And so they're going to pull Wolf's teleport. That's what they're trying to do here. They are baiting the Baron, trying to pull Wolf's teleport, and then they'll be able to pressure it again later. But we'll see how it turns out here.
Exactly. Both teams hanging on bushes, but here we see now University of Manitoba starting this Baron, and they're going to see a response coming in from Kansas State. The teleport is coming out of Wolf as he comes in here with that choke off. Let's see what happens. They're going to use that ultimate Trevorius is onto Soul and try to lock down that target, but Kept is going to do a bunch of damage. That's not the target they actually wanted. They're coming on the other side. Soul's going to get onto Dem Boys and onto that Caitlyn. The double kill is now going to come out for Kept. Dem Boy's gonna be able to answer with 1 kill of himself. Dem Boys is still up, but a triple kill is now happening for Kept. He's looking for more targets. Quadra kill. There's only one person left. They're not gonna leave him for the Penta. That's fine. They'll take the ace and probably this game.
There you go. That is the power of that team comp. It was all about whether or not you land the Warwick ultimate, and Warwick landed the ultimate on Soul. When that happened, it was almost as if the team fight's done, because you don't have the team fight composition to fight the University of Manitoba's team.
Yeah. Because the other thing you do with getting the ultimate onto a carry like Kept is you get rid of that damage so that the rest of your team, so someone like Demboys can do a lot. You saw Demboys actually play that team fight really, really well and position really, really well that I almost for a moment thought they might turn it around. But yeah, Kep pops off with a quadra kill. Again, we talked before the game of how much this was like, oh, we talked a lot about the bot lane matchup. We talked a lot about Rodolph carrying and kept going, do you guys forget about me? Like, don't forget about me. Like, he was deathless in the first game. He goes this game only dying twice. Oh no, only dying the one time. And it's just proving that he's a god right now.
Yeah, don't forget about Kept. You give him the mage 80 or his mage AP carries through the mid lane and just control your team fights. He will control the lane and then he will take you down. So Kept is really proving his worth to the University of Manitoba team there, but it's really a team effort. You look at Proto was able to again have the pressure in the top lane. Early down some CS, but was able to get pressure onto that lane that was able to get them the turret. You look at the jungle with Soul, just able to get some strong engages. He's able to lock up the entire team that allows Kept to deal this massive damage to people who are locked in his catechism. Catechism, sorry. A catalysm, while Rodov's messing up the back line of Kansas State there.
And what you're seeing here is actually like mechanically, I feel like a lot of places are even. There might be a pretty big difference between Kept and Algul, as Kept has proven that he's being really, really strong in a lot of 1v1 situations. But you are seeing the teamwork and the shot calling come out super well for this University of Manitoba team. It's been proven so far in these first two games that even though the late game scaling comp was sitting in Kansas State, University of Manitoba was able to take the right advantages and take a late game and take the right fights, and everything going in favor of them so far as they now lead 2-0 in this series. It's a best of 5, so we'll have 1 to 3 more games depending on if Kansas State can answer back and take a game and stretch this series. But we will be right back on the University of Manitoba stream when that happens. We'll take a short break and we'll be back soon.